Hello and welcome to Canguro English. I'm Christian and this is another live English class. I am here to answer any of your questions about grammar or vocabulary, English culture, anything you want to ask me that I know, I will try to explain. So today is Valentine's Day. I hope that you have some love in your life. I have noticed in recent years that, well, in the past, Valentine's Day was mainly for romantic love, boyfriend and girlfriend or husband and wife. But I have noticed recently that you can show love to, people in your family, or you can show love to your friends. So Valentine's Day is not just for romantic love. So today, if you're feeling a little bit maybe sad, if you don't have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, then don't feel sad. Think about the love that you have from other people in your life, from your friends, from your family, or maybe if you go to get a coffee and the waitress at the cafeteria is really nice to you, that's a type of love. You should appreciate all of these different types of love. Okay, so lots of questions already. Hello to you all. I'm very happy to have you all in this class. So the first question here is from Lewis, and he's asking about the difference between not and no, which is a very good question. Okay. So first I will explain the technical difference, and then I will show you a very easy way to use the two types, okay? So not is to make a sentence negative, okay? It's to negate a sentence. So, for example, I am not happy, or this is not a coffee, unfortunately. Okay, it's to make something a noun or a verb negative, or an adjective. Okay, lots of things negative. But no is different, because no means none, not any. For example, there is no pizza, there is no coffee. I'm saying there is not any coffee, not any pizza. Okay? So this is the difference in the meaning between the two. But an easy way to remember how to use them, okay, is that not would be with a noun with an article, okay? Like, not a pizza, okay? So if you have an article, you must use not. But if you have no article, then you have to decide, are you making a negative, or are you saying there's not any? For example, no pizzas. I have no pizzas. But this is not a pizza. Hopefully that answers your question. I hope that explains the difference for you. So yes, Van Long Van, hello. Happy Valentine's Day to you too. I hope that you have lots of chocolates and champagne and, the good things, the things that you like. um, Guilherme wants to know the difference between gone, went, and been. Okay. Oops. And been. Okay. So here we can see the three verb conjugations in English. Okay. We have the infinitive, so with no conjugation. Then we have the past simple, okay? And then we have the participle, So we would use these forms with the past simple. I went to the cinema, and was and were. We would also use this to make the past continuous, because we need to use to be to make the past continuous. Okay? Now, these forms here, they are the participles. So we use those to make the perfect tenses. So, for example, I have gone, she has been, and we also use them to make the passive. So the difference is it depends on the verbal tense, okay? But there is one thing which is a little bit strange in English. Okay, let me show you. So these are two very common sentences. I have been to Italy, and I have gone to Italy. And the first one uses the verb to be, but the second one is using the verb to go. But the meaning is very, very different. Okay? The first one, I have been to Italy, means that at one time in your life, maybe last week, maybe 10 years ago, you went to Italy. You visited Italy. And then you came back. You came back to your country. But if you say, I have gone to Italy, that means that now you are still in Italy. You went, but you didn't come back. So in this way, you have to be a little bit careful with the difference between go and to be when you talk about movement, okay? When you talk about movement, when you're talking about to be like, I have been a teacher or I have been happy, this is different, okay? But if you're talking about movement, you have to be careful. So this is go and come back with been, and this is only go and never come back. Like, for example, you could say, I have gone crazy, which means you went to the crazy land and you never came back. Hopefully that explains the difference for you. Okay. Yan Huang was asking the difference between some vowel sounds, okay? But I think it's best, Yan, if you give me the examples of some words that you have problems with, and we can talk about those words, okay? So just type in the words, and we'll talk about them, okay? Yes, hello to Karine in Brazil. I don't know if it's Karine or Karine. I'm not sure. Okay, so Victoria in the Ukraine. Hello, Victoria. She was asking about the order of adjectives in English. This is something which has no logical explanation. It's crazy, okay? Spanish car. So here is an example sentence with a lot of adjectives, okay? The big, beautiful, green Spanish car. Now, because I am a native speaker, I automatically know in my subconscious the order of the adjectives. I know that big is first, and then beautiful, then green, then Spanish. And I automatically know if I want to add an adjective like old, it must go here, the big old. It's my instinct because I have listened to English all of my life. Okay? Now, the order of adjectives is complicated. You know, we have size, and then we have material, you know, origin. It's complicated. And I think that it is impossible to study this. Because when you're speaking, you're not going to stop and think, okay, I want to say that it's a big, beautiful green. Okay, what's the order? It's first size, so big, and then it's impossible. You're never going to use this in reality, okay? So the only thing you can do is when you are listening to English, which I hope you are, when you're watching television programs, when you're listening to the radio, and also when you're reading in English, you will, in your subconscious, automatically absorb this, okay? You don't need to study it. You will, with time, you will think, this doesn't sound right. It's not a green Spanish beautiful old big car. No, it's like this. It's here. But there is one simple rule which you can use, okay? And that is that you should put your opinion before a fact, okay? Now, opinions, you could also say evaluations, but this is a more complicated word. Your opinion, so if you think something is beautiful, and you know that something is also Spanish, you say a beautiful Spanish car, because beautiful is your opinion, okay? And also big is your evaluation of the object. Maybe it's big for you, but it's not big for me. So it's a type of opinion. So big goes before Spanish. A big, beautiful Spanish car. Okay? So this is a simple rule that will help you in a majority of the cases. Okay? Now, the other rule, you can study it, but personally I think it's a waste of time. It's better to listen to English, read English, and you will absorb this information. Okay? Okay. Okay, so Marcos wants to know the difference between alone, by myself, and on my own. Okay. Alone, by myself, and on my own. Okay. Okay. So they are very, very similar. You can see that the construction is similar. I can use them in the same way. I am alone, I am by myself, and I am on my own. Okay? And they all mean that it's me and no other people. Only me. I'm alone. There's no other people. I'm by myself. And I am on my own. Okay? But also, you can use these to mean something a little bit different, okay? Which is that you did something without any help. For example, I did the work on my own, okay? Which means I did the work only me. I had no help, okay? Or you could say I did the work by myself, or I did the work on my own, okay? Um, the difference in meaning depends on the context. But really, they are very, very similar, okay? So don't worry too much. Don't worry too much. You can use them as you like, okay? Okay. Ecam wants to know the difference between each time and whenever. Okay. Let me put an example on the board. Okay. Oops. Okay, so here's a couple of examples. So, each time I teach, or whenever I teach. So, he wants to know the difference between the two. I think that it's important to understand the difference between each and every, because whenever and every time are very similar, okay? So when we talk about, when we use the word each, okay, we are talking about the individual thing. Okay? So let's imagine that we are talking about classes. Okay? So here are my classes. Okay, these X's represent classes that I teach. Okay? So if I say each time I teach, I am thinking about the individual classes. I'm saying this time when I teach, and this time when I teach, da 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 da. Okay? But when I use whenever and every time, then I am thinking about all of the classes together. Okay? Now, it's a subtle difference, okay? But it's important, okay? So, whenever and every time, they are very similar, okay? You can use them when you're talking about all of the things. And each time you would use that when you're talking about the individual things. Okay? Hopefully that helps to answer your question. Please tell me if not, and I will explain some more. So hello to Brazil, hello to Belarus, Italy, Argentina, Turkey. Big love and big Valentine's Day love to all of you. Okay, so let's have a look for some more questions. Okay, so James was asking the difference between the pronunciation of pool and pool. Let's have a look. And this will be very interesting for you, especially if you are a French speaker, because this is a typical problem for people whose native language is French, okay? So, what is the difference between the two? So, the first thing is the length of the vowel, okay? So this is ooh, okay? Pool. And you can hear, okay, you can hear that I have a little change in my vowel. Pool. Okay, do you hear it goes up and down? Now, this is not produced by a change in my mouth position. Look. Ooh. This is produced by my tongue moving inside my mouth. Ooh. My tongue is doing this. Ooh. Okay? Ooh. Pull is different because first, it's shorter. Okay? And secondly, because my tongue doesn't move. Okay? It's one sound. My tongue is very forward. Ooh. Ooh. Okay? It's at the front. Low at the front. Now, in general, in English, if our lips are forward, okay, if we have lips forward, then we have the tongue back. So we have this movement. If the lips are forward, the tongue is back. And if the tongue is forward, then the lips are back. Okay, this is a general pronunciation rule in English. But in French, you have the opposite. The lips are forward, tongue is forward. Lips are back, tongue is back. Okay? So if you are French, then you need to practice this opposites. Okay? But this sound here breaks the rules a little bit. Okay? Because here with the oo, we have lips forward and also tongue forward. Ooh. It's a very French sound. Ooh. Okay? Ooh. So, pool. Pool. Okay? The mouth position is very, very similar. The sound at the beginning is the same. The difference is this tongue. Here, the tongue is moving back. Pool. Okay? Hopefully that helps to explain the difference for you. Okay? Please tell me if you would like me to explain some more. Karine has a question about who and whom and whose. Okay. Okay. So first, let's talk about who and whom. Okay? Now, who is a question word, right? To make a question, like Who are you? Okay. Okay. Who are you? And you can see that in this sentence that we have who are you, but who is the subject of the sentence? Who are you? Okay, you are the object. Okay. Now, technically, whom, we should use whom if the who is the object of the sentence. For example, so you can see here that you are whom because whom is the object of the sentence. If it's the object, we should use whom. But in reality, nobody uses whom. Okay? This word is dead because native speakers don't really know the difference between subjects and objects, and the word is very similar. Okay, so it's not necessary. In English, we are constantly eliminating complications. So what I want to say is forget about whom. Okay, whom is dead. Rest in peace, whom. R.I.P. Okay, rest in peace. You were very useful in the last century, but now you're dead. Okay, so you can use who. You can say, you are who. Who are you? Don't worry about this. Okay, but the second thing is important. The second part of your question, the difference between who and whose. Okay. So, whose indicates possession. Okay? And I can use it to ask questions or make statements about the possession of an object. Like, for example, whose phone? Whose phone is this? Whose phone is this? Okay, I'm saying the phone of who? It's for possession. Or I could say, very formally, I could say, I like the person whose phone is black. But this construction is very formal. Okay, whose, it's something that native speakers try to avoid by using a different construction. Okay, this word, because I think a lot of native speakers don't really know how to use this word. Okay, and so they would probably change this and say something like, "Who does this phone belong to?" To avoid using this word, okay? But it's not dead like whom. So hopefully you understand the difference now, okay? Please tell me if you would like me to explain some more. Okay, so Alexei wants to know the difference between the past simple and the present perfect. Okay, but before I explain that, because we are talking about subject and object question words, I want to explain something to you that maybe will blow your mind. Okay, so oops. So let's talk about pronouns, right? So, if I ask you, what are the pronouns in English? You would probably say, well, it's easy. The pronouns are I, you, we, etc., etc., okay? But what if I told you that really these are not the pronouns in English? And that in reality, your English teacher has been lying to you for years, because there is no such thing as subject and object pronouns. It doesn't exist. It's a lie. For example, well, let's put you, for example, to mix it up. You like pizza. Okay, perfect. You like pizza. Great. And what about if we want to say that you like me? Okay. Wow. So you can see here that we have the subject of the sentence with you and the object with me. And probably your teacher tells you that we have the subject pronoun and the object pronoun. But it's not true, okay? In reality, this is the only pronoun in English. There is no difference between a subject and an object pronoun. I'll prove it to you, okay? So, what about if you and some other people you and some other people like pizza. Okay, let's have a look. So, you and we like pizza. You and we like pizza. No, you cannot say you and we. It's not correct, okay? It's you and us. Now, normally your teacher would explain that us is the object pronoun. But no, here is the subject of the sentence, and we are using us. Okay. What about another example? If I ask you a question, do you like pizza? No, that's not a good question. Who likes pizza? Who likes pizza? And you respond, I. Because I is the subject of the sentence, I. No, it's not correct. You have to use the pronoun me. Who likes pizza? Me. So you can see that subject and object pronouns don't really exist. This is the true rule. Let me write the true rule, okay? Oops. So this is the true rule for using pronouns in English, which is that you should always use me, us, them, etc., unless, except it is the only subject of the sentence, like I like pizza, because I am the only subject, in which case you use I, you, we, they, he, she, it, which is actually a special irregular form of the pronouns. Hopefully that was interesting to you, and hopefully that explains why we say, me and them, and that explains why when you answer a question you say them or us or me and not I and they, okay? And hopefully it explains when you have a compound subject, why are we using subject and object pronouns? Okay. So yes, now I'm going to explain past simple and present perfect. Okay. The past simple, okay, is to talk about things that happened in the past at a specific time. Okay? So, they are finished actions. Very important. They're finished, okay? And they happened at a specific time. So, yesterday I went to the cinema. At 3 o'clock I ate pizza. 2 hours ago I drank a coffee. So we have a finished action at a specific time. Present perfect is different, okay? Because present perfect refers to a non-specific time. And it could be a finished or a not finished action. The difference is that it is strongly related to now. Okay? So we're going to say related to now. And this is important. Okay? So the first thing, non-specific. You cannot say at 3 o'clock I have eaten pizza. No, it's impossible because you are specifying a time. Or 3 weeks ago I have felt sick. No, it's impossible. If you specify the time, we must use past simple. Or if you are specifying the time in the context, you must use past simple. Okay? Present perfect, non-specific time. So, recently I have felt bad. Because recently is not a specific time. Okay? Or in the past few years, I have been studying a lot. Because the past few years is a period of time, okay? It's not a specific moment. And we use it when it's something related to now, okay? Like if we are talking about Italy, we're talking about Italy, and you said, yes, I have been to Italy. Because it's related to what we're talking about now. Okay? So hopefully that explains the difference for you between the two. Okay? Sometimes it can be a little bit more complicated. But with this rule, you will be correct 95% of the time. And 95% is good enough for me. Okay. Okay. Some people here are asking me to recommend some books to read. Well, actually, on Friday, my next class will be on YouTube on Friday, and it is about pronunciation, about how to practice your pronunciation. And in this class, I recommend a book to practice your pronunciation. But if you are looking for a book, to read every day, there are two things that are very important. The first thing is that it's not too difficult. You must read a book at your level. If the book is too difficult, okay, it's not good for your English. If it's too easy, it's not good. It has to be just the right level. So go to a bookshop, go to probably the children's section or the young adults section, and look for a book that you can understand, 80% of the text. You understand the concept, what's happening, a majority of the vocabulary, and buy this book, okay? But the second thing is that buy a book that is interesting to you, okay? If you are interested in cooking, buy a book about cooking. Don't buy a book about horses, okay? Also you could, if you are interested in a specific hobby, like fishing or diving, you could buy a magazine about this subject. Every hobby is rich in vocabulary. Fishing, cycling, painting is all rich in vocabulary. So focus on what is interesting to you, and then this will help your motivation to continue to read, okay? So that's my advice to you. Okay. The French Leo is here in class today to help me to not forget my question marks. In a previous class, I forgot to put a question mark, and I feel bad about this. So please tell me if I forget any more question marks. Okay. So let's have a look. Roberto is here from the Brazilian city of Curitiba. Curitiba, wow, cool. Okay, so Kevin wants to know the difference between the U and the OO. Okay. Good, and what's the other word? Good, good, okay. So, this is the same, okay, exactly the same as I explained before between pool, okay, so pool and pull, okay, it's the same. So here we have the short sound, tongue forward, good, pull, good, pull. And here we have the longer sound and our tongue is moving. Food, pool, okay? So hopefully, because I explained before, this is the same, okay? Okay. Okay, so Nelson has a fantastic question about the genitive case in English. The possession, the apostrophe. So I know that it seems complicated, the apostrophe, but really it's easy, I promise. Okay, so here is an example sentence, right? The car of my sister. Now, this doesn't sound natural in English. Why? Because if an object belongs to a person, we prefer to use the apostrophe S, okay? We prefer it. And here you can see the sister is a person, so we prefer to use the apostrophe S. But if it's not a person, then you can use the construction like this. For example, the roof the roof of the house. So because a house is not a person, we prefer to say the roof of the house, not the apostrophe S. Now, the apostrophe S is really easy to use. I'll show you, okay? So, the car of my sister. So, how many ofs are in this sentence? One of, okay? So that means that when we use the apostrophe and the S, we will have one apostrophe S. The apostrophe S replaces of, okay? And when we use this construction, we go in this direction. See? The car of my sister. The object is at the beginning, okay? The car belongs to is the property of the sister. But when we use the genitive, the object is at the end. Okay? So, my sisters. And you can see that we are adding apostrophe S, my sister's car. Okay? Now, something else very important. Before the object, look, no articles, no possessives, nothing. Genitive and object. And we're going in this direction. See? This direction, this direction. One of, one genitive, one apostrophe. But what about a more complicated example? Okay. What about car of the sister of my girlfriend the car of the sister of the girlfriend of my brother. Okay. So we have the car of the sister of the girlfriend of my brother. How many ofs? 1, 2, 3. 3 ofs, 3 apostrophes with S's. And in this direction, no. We start here. Okay, we start here, we go backwards. So, my brothers. First one, girlfriends. Second one, sisters. Third one, and then car. Okay, so you can see 3 ofs, 3 apostrophes with S. And look, we have no articles, no possessives, nothing. Okay, we have all of them together like this. Okay, so really it's not too complicated. Okay, hopefully that helps to answer your question. And now you can use the apostrophe with confidence. Yeah. Okay. Zied has a vocabulary question about the difference between various and varied. Um, what is the difference between various and varied? Various means that you have different categories of things. Okay? Different types of things together. Like, for example, there are various pizzas. Maybe a bolognese pizza and a barbecue pizza. There are various pizzas, okay? Varied also means different types, okay? So there are varied pizzas, okay? Like, there are pizzas with bolognese and pizzas with barbecue, okay? But various has a second meaning, okay? Which could just mean a lot. A lot. So there are various pizzas. All of the pizzas are barbecue. They're the same, but there's lots of them. But varied, no, varied doesn't have this second meaning. It only has one meaning, different types, okay? And also, varied is a very technical word, okay? I think that you would use this in a formal context. You would not say, varied pizzas. It doesn't sound good. But there are various pizzas sounds more natural. But if you are an engineer, you could talk about varied topography. Something technical, something which is varied. I don't know if that's a perfect explanation. Maybe I need to clarify some more in the next class. I need to think about it. Okay. Let's have a look. Ahmed wants to know the difference between neither nor and either or. Okay. The pizza. Here's two examples, okay? So, I have neither pizza nor coffee. Or I have either pizza or coffee, okay? So, the important thing to remember is that when we use neither and nor, we are saying, I have none, okay? It's negative. I don't have pizza and I don't have coffee. Okay, so we are making a negative of the verb. Okay? You can make a negative of any verb, like I speak neither French nor Arabic. Okay, I'm saying I don't speak. Now, either, okay, is the positive form, the affirmative form of this. And if we use it with a negative, it's the same thing. So I have not either pizza or coffee. Okay? So you're saying, I have no pizza and I have no coffee. It's the same meaning. But If we use positive and positive, I have either pizza or coffee, it changes the meaning. Now we are talking about options. I have either pizza or coffee. It's different. It's not a negative. It's to talk about two choices, either this or that. So it depends on your sentence. But hopefully this explanation is a help for you. Okay. I'm looking for another question. Siambi71 wants me to explain the passive. But the problem is that I can't explain the passive in only 4 minutes. And we only have 4 minutes of class. Damn. So I have to answer a different question. I'm sorry. Okay. Veronica wants to know the difference between less and low. Okay. Okay, it's easy. Less is to make a comparison. So, for example, I have less of this than of this. Okay? We're talking about a comparison. Okay? Like, this month I made less money than last month, for example. Okay? But low is different. Low is to talk about a level. Okay? So this is high and this is low. So you could say, my money is low. Normally my money is here, but my money is low today. So one's for comparison and one is a level. Hopefully that helps to explain the difference. So I have time just to answer one final question, which is from 0330BTK. What a name. I don't know, what a name. He wants to know the difference between using present continuous and going to when you talk about the future. Okay? So okay. Here are two examples. I am eating pizza tomorrow. I am going to eat pizza tomorrow. Okay? They both talk about the future. Okay? When you say this, I know that you are talking about the future. So, really, there's no difference. But there are some things that are very important. Okay? If you use present continuous, you must indicate the future, okay, by using, a word, or in the context of the conversation. What are you doing tomorrow? I'm eating pizza. I know that we are talking about tomorrow, okay? So this is something important. If you use present continuous, you must indicate the future. But this one, it's not necessary to indicate the future. It's optional. So, the subtle difference, okay? The little difference is that when we use this, we are using the present continuous. Present continuous is normally for something which is happening now. So when we use present continuous and we indicate the future, it means that there is a very strong link between now and the thing you are talking about in the future. A very strong link, okay? Whereas here, it's not necessary to have this strong link with now, with the present, okay? And the difference between going to and will, I will eat pizza tomorrow, there's absolutely no difference, okay? If your teacher tells you that going to is for plans and will, it's not true, okay? There's no difference between going to and will. So you can talk about the future however you like, no problems, okay? Use them all. Be creative. Break the rules. Well, unfortunately, now it's 2 o'clock. I have to go and prepare for the classes this afternoon. I'm very sorry I didn't have time to answer all of your questions. I really appreciate you all here in this class. I appreciate all of your questions. And I'm very happy to have so many students from all over the world that want to learn English. For me, it's fantastic. And I hope that today I have helped some of you. I hope that you have a fantastic Valentine's Day. I hope that there is lots of love and chocolate and champagne and flowers for you. And if not, don't worry. Think about the love in the world right now. I'm Christian. This is Canguro English, and I'll see you in class. Bye.